Is Beyonce appropriating country music, or she is talented? She is part of country music. Because after Beyonce's Texas Hold'em, it has caused a lot of controversy amongst country music fans who are claiming that country music is white music. And if Beyonce is coming to sing country music, she is appropriating white people's music, white people's culture. So, without much talk, let's take a look at videos of Black Americans coming forward to say, oh, hold up. Country music started from the plantations by enslaved Africans who brought the banjo from Africa. So most of the time they played the banjo when they wanted to cheer up, when they wanted to relax after a hard day under the sun working in the plantation. They usually played the banjo to relax, to take off the stress, the tiredness from working under the sun for longer hours in the plantation. So the banjo is the core of country music. Think about it. It came from the slaves who brought it from Africa. Are you connecting the dots? So without much talk, let's take a look at Matt Walsh talking about this.
Have some controversy, some racism allegedly. And this is the worst kind of racism imaginable. It's the racism, really racism in its most bigoted, most vicious form, because it is the racism of criticizing Beyonce, the singer, and as opposed to any other Beyonce I might be talking about. And we all know that if you criticize Beyonce, then you're racist automatically. We've learned that. I've learned that. I've been told that. I've criticized her plenty of times because she's not a very good singer and all of her songs are terrible. But anytime I say that, I'm told.
That's gross. That Beyonce is not a good singer and all her songs are terrible. Matt Walsh, come on. You can't say that. I mean, Beyonce is she's a star. She's a superstar. I'm not a fan of Beyonce, but I know she sings good music. And if Beyonce is singing country music, she has a right to sing country music. I mean, the girl is from Texas. She's from Houston, Texas. She grew up listening to country music. Come on.
Well, you're racist for that. You have to like Beyonce. Just one of those requirements to be not racist. Well, someone has violated that rule, and now they've got the internet mob coming after them. This is from Yahoo. Actor John Schneider has garnered the ire of the Bayhive after comparing Beyonce to a dog, marking her territory for her recent venture into country music. Several fans slammed him as racist and hateful, and commented the singer does not need his permission to create country music.
Of course, she doesn't need his permission to create country music. Of course, John Schneider was also a country artist, a failed country artist. So now he's just trying to come back. He's trying to use Beyonce to come back. He wants to be popular. Who is he? Like everyone is asking. I see so many. I check the comment sections. I see people asking that, but who is John Schneider? We know Beyonce, but we don't know you. So you're coming to talk about Beyonce because you want people to know you. You want people to talk about you, right? And he's saying that Beyonce doesn't have a right to sing country music. Hold up. Country music, as you know, as you're going to find out in this video, was created by Black people like every other genre of music. They brought the banjo from Africa and they made songs with the banjo. They played the banjo for so long, and the white people appropriated the banjo and took it to the theaters.
Social media users said, Beyonce can do whatever the F she wants to do. She doesn't need your permission. Did John Schneider just compare Beyonce to a dog?
Yeah.
So Beyonce singing country music makes her a dog? What the F? And then, okay, that's all. They're all basically all the same. Calling him a racist right-wing extremist. Anyway.
Like, seriously, he's a racist. Why does he use a dog to refer to Beyonce because she's singing country music? Like, he says that Beyonce singing country music is like a dog urinating on a tree to place its mark on country music. I mean, what's he saying? They've appropriated everything, like I just said, every other genre of music. And now Beyonce is just, I think for me, this is like a sign for Beyonce is trying to show us that Guys, look here, black people, what do you think? This is our music. This is our music. We started this, but these people appropriated the music and now they're claiming it's their music and they are defending the territory. They are carving the territory. They are trying to protect it like as if it's theirs, but whereas it's not their music, right? You can only be racist. You can only be racist, but you can never change history. That's a fact.
Here's John Schneider, the I guess, I don't know who he is, I guess he's an actor. And here he is making this comment about Beyonce's foray into country music.
The lefties in the entertainment industry just won't leave any area alone, right? They just have to seize control over every aspect, don't they?
They've got to make their mark, just like a dog in a dog walk park. You know, every dog has to mark every tree, right? So that's what's going on here. Shania and the other folks you talked about, what they did is they were in country music and they went out. You know, that's one thing. But people coming into country music have because I know a little something about country music.
Okay, so there's the supposedly racist remark, which of course is not racist at all. Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous, Matt Walsh. It is racist. It is racist. And it seems as if everything in America is polarized. Either it's leftist or it's from the far right. I mean, what's happening? Why is it that you can't have we can't have a normal discussion anymore? It's either Republican or Democrat. I mean, what's happening? And when I listened to John Schneider and the interviewer, what I got is this: like they're simply angry that Beyonce is a leftist and she is singing country music, which normally belongs to the conservatives, to the right, the far right. I mean, what's happening is, can you all stop? Must everything in America be politicized?
You're allowed to not like Beyonce. Now, I think the criticism is kind of stupid on the face. Complaining about the lefties invading our space just because Beyonce made a country song is sort of dumb. Mainly because there are already a ton of leftists making country music. Country music is not some kind of conservative bastion. It's not. Now, there are conservative country stars, but it's will we even call them the majority at this point? And you know, so a lot of country music is made by liberals, and a lot of it is already quite terrible. Quite a lot of it. If you still are one of the 5 people who listens to the radios, let's say, and you turn on a country station anywhere in the country, you know, like 90% of what comes on is going to be really bad. So it's not like
it's going to be really bad. Why? Because it's not originally white people's music. It's black people's music. But you all have intentionally relegated black people to the side because you want to capitalize. You want to appropriate this music and the culture around this music. You know, so that's why you always have 90% of the music sounding bad and of bad quality. And for you to say that Beyonce's music is generally not so good, I mean, this only goes to show that you, Matt Walsh, doesn't listen to Beyonce's music. And I wouldn't be surprised when black people come for you and say you're racist. But maybe you're racist. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe you're racist. That's why you don't want to listen to Beyonce's music. Or you don't care about Beyonce because you already said you don't like the music. But how do you know that the music is bad when you don't like Beyonce, you don't listen to her music? Huh? Guys, do you get it? It's just simple. You don't like Beyonce because she's not what you want to see, right?
she's desecrating some sacred thing. You know, it's country music. Some of it is good. Plenty of it is bad. But, you know, it's not racist to criticize it. Pure Talk believes in American values, and that
shit. And I don't think he would go into talking about all the influence that black artists had on country music and the fact that black people created country music and contributed so much to it. I doubt very seriously that he would go down into that well.
Say it again. Black people created country music. They created country music. Say it out loud.
And tell us the truth about those things. But I'll be glad to do it for you, Bo. I'll be glad to help you out here, okay? Because if you want to talk about the influence that black artists had over country music, how about we talk about Arnold Schultz, who was a fiddle player and a guitar player. His finger-picking style heavily influenced Bill Monroe, who is considered to be the father of bluegrass, and Merle Travis, who's one of the most imitated country guitar players of all time. Both those men were influenced by a black man by the name of Arnold Schultz.
Wow.
Then you had Rufus T-Top Payne. He taught Hank Williams Sr. how to play the guitar. Now, Hank Williams Sr. is arguably considered the greatest country singer-songwriter of all time, but he learned how to play his guitar from a black man named Rufus Payne. Then you had D. Ford Bailey. He was the first black artist to ever play on the Grand Ole Opry. You had Leslie Riddle, whose guitar playing influenced the Carter family. Again, the Carters are considered one of the founding fathers of country music, but yet they drew their influence from Leslie Riddle. You also had Henry Glover. He was one of the few record executives back in the day that was black who scouted for King Records and wrote songs for artists on the label. Then you had Linda Martell. She was the first black woman to ever play the Grand Ole Opry. And you can't not talk about Charlie Pride, who had 29 number one hits, and he was RCA's second best-selling artist behind Elvis Presley. So if Bo Duke wants to talk about country music, I know a thing or two about it. Listen, save your phony accent and your pretentious good old boy bullshit for somebody else.
Thank you, Paul James. Thank you for the history lessons. I hope they got it. And guys, always remember, Black history is American history, whether you like it or not. You can take, you can appropriate, you can steal, but you can never change history. Black people created country music.
Throughout our history, many inventions, many things that Black people created was taken from us because we did not have any rights. We were considered property, like real estate. So you can go to blackhistory.com to read about the history of country music and the truth. So, truth be told, country music was created by Black people, going back as far as the 17th centuries. Do you see this slave right here? He has a banjo. And they were a lot of times forced to perform and entertain white people. So I feel as though time went on and so many different types of music that Black people created was stolen by the white people because we had no rights. We couldn't patent our music. We didn't even own anything. We weren't even considered to be people. But I think the truth needs to be told. And this is why critical race theory is essential to be taught in every single school in the United States of America. Rock and roll was created by Black people. So they have the Elvis Presley movie out, and they touch on it a little bit, but they don't tell the complete truth. How a lot of his popular songs, he pretty much stole them. They did touch on his background being gospel and him collaborating with Black people. So that's pretty much where Elvis developed his style. But that didn't stop him from stealing from other Black artists because he knew and understood his white privilege. So Nas, Sam Cooke, some other popular country singers, we need to understand that one of the reasons why Black people kind of gravitated towards rap music was because pretty much any type of music that we created was stolen by the white people. Okay? But then Eminem, Vanilla Ice, Malone, there's so many artists that are even being popular and being recognized as rap artists when we were the originators of that as well. So I just want the truth to be told because the history that I learned in school was nothing but a lie.
So literally, every genre of music was stolen from Black people. So that's why Black people normally gravitated towards rap music because every music they created was stolen, was appropriated, and coined to look as if it was created by the white people. Of course, as she mentioned, back in the day, back in the time, Black people were considered as property. They were owned. They were slaves who were owned by slave masters. So anything they created belonged to their slave master. So they couldn't own property. And also, at some point, they were not even considered as humans. So that's why the white people succeeded in stealing Black people's music. And to think about how country music was created, you begin to wonder why white people are so outraged that Beyonce is singing country music. Why are you outraged? Why are you angry? This is music that was created by Black people. This is our music. And every other musical instrument originated from some part of Africa. That's what you all don't know. Most of the musical instruments that you have today that has been developed, that has been advanced, upgraded, where they had their roots in Africa. They were created. They were founded in Africa. So country music is African music. Country music is Black people's music. Black people created country music. So before you open your mouth to talk about Beyonce, to talk down on Beyonce, to be racist on Beyonce, think about this. This is our music. This country music is Black people's music. Let's continue. So here is how Black people shaped country music. Even though they were relegated, they were pushed to the side by the people who appropriated country music and took it to the theaters to make more money, to capitalize it. Black people still continued to be in the background of country music, because most of the country stars, most of the country stars you see in the forefront were being modeled, were being coached by Black country music artists who didn't have the opportunity to be in the forefront. And you know what? You know what happened? Most of the time, the people in the music labels didn't want to sign up country music artists who were Black, because they were not considered there was segregation. Many white people didn't want to watch Black people play country music, So they used white people and made them to have the Black face in order to perform country music. And you know what? Why they were performing this country music, they made fun, they made memes, they laughed, they made so many things to laugh at Black people. So this was demeaning. They didn't only steal country music. They used country music to humiliate the people who created country music. Do you understand this? This is deep. This is painful. This is deep. So the next time you think about talking down on Black people, think about this. They created the music you are trying to claim you created.
For many historians, the origins of modern-day country music begin with bluegrass. Bluegrass relies on the acoustic sounds of string instruments, and the banjo is a staple. The banjo is a West African instrument brought over in the 1600s via the transatlantic slave trade. The instruments were originally made out of boards and had been popular in the region way before American slavery started. Other instruments like the fiddle and tambourine were also integral to bluegrass and also had links to Africa.
So you see, most of the musical instruments used in country music originated in Africa. And these musical instruments were already in Africa even before slavery. So you see, we started the music, we made music. We created music. Every genre of music came from us. It was appropriated from us. So we are music. Black people are music, and music is our history. Country music, we created country music. So there is no country music without Black people. So the next time you try to talk down on Beyonce, think about this. Just think about it. Just take a minute to think about it. Let this sink in.
Brian, you're gonna have to explain to me, how do you appropriate something that you created? Because y'all wouldn't have country music if it wasn't for black people. Oh look, a receipt. Some of the core instruments used in country music were created and perfected by black people. The music you know as country was once called slave music. That music was then made fun of in minstrel shows. And then the music caught on and became hillbilly music, which was rebranded as country music. All American music finds its roots in black people. Country music is no exception. As with all of the genres, the music was appropriated. It tried to write black folks out of the story. Ain't that funny how history repeats itself? Because here you are claiming that we're appropriating something that we made. Furthermore, speaking specifically of Beyonce, honey, she was born in Texas, Houston to be specific. She grew up going to the rodeo, listening to country music. It's heavily influenced her music that she produces. I wish you would say what you really want to say, and that is that the #1 country artist right now is a black woman, and that makes you uncomfy. Deal.
The #1 country music artist is a black woman, and that woman is Beyoncé. That's why you're angry. But you know what? She's never going to address it. She'll just keep playing, doing what she knows how to do best, to produce good music. If you want to listen, you listen. If you don't want to listen, scroll past or just turn off the radio. But she'll always still be #1. And here is an apologist who comes back to apologize for making a video claiming that country music is white people's music. And now he's coming back to apologize, to say that, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know the history. I just knew that black country music was created by white people, by cowboys. Aha, guys, take a look at this. Check this out.
Black people are mad at me because I said that people of color invented country music and not black people.
We are mad. Yeah, this is what normally happens. You know, talking about the one drop rule, you always say, if you've got just one drop of black blood, you are black, right? So why, when it comes to country music, you try to sugarcoat it. You try to take it away from black people and say that colored people, mixed people created country music. No, black people created country music. I don't know the gymnastics these people try to play all the time. That is why critical race theory should be part and parcel of the curriculum in every school. It should start maybe as early as kindergarten. It should start from there, because I mean, why must it be colored people? Because you want it to be closer to the white people. No. It was created by black people, enslaved Africans who came to America to work in the plantations. They brought the banjo with them, and they always played the banjo, and their slave masters saw that this was interesting, and they were sometimes forced to play for their slave masters. And capitalism will always find a way to exploit. And they said, oh, this sounds great. Maybe so many people would like to listen to this. Let's take this to the theater. And when they took it to the theater, they saw that people were more and more interested in it. What did they do? They relegated the black people who created this music, and they found white people and gave them black faces to perform the same music that was created by black people. Come on. Do you understand this? This is crazy. This is racism. It is racism. What I just explained to you is racism, because many people say, I don't understand. I don't know what racism is. I've never seen racism. I've never experienced racism. This is racism. And this is like deep, hardcore racism. This is systemic racism. They do it like clean and clear. Why would you prefer to use a black face than to use a black person? There's so many black people everywhere. You don't want to use a black person, but you want to use a black face. And that's where the black face originated. And we've seen so many people wearing the black face as a costume, but they don't think about how it is demeaning, it is insulting to the black people and the black community. Let's continue.
People specifically. And you know what I have to say to that? I am sorry.
Better.
I totally misspoke in that video. I misrepresented the creation.
Whatever. You'll be sorry now, but the next video you still make the same mistake, because sometimes racism is deep down in the core. You need to get deliverance from racism. You don't just say, I'm sorry and I'm never going to do it again. Please just make sure you never be racist to black people anymore. Every time you think about music, know that it was created by black people. By black people. We created music. We've got good ears for music. We've got good brain for music. We know music. We were born with music. We love music.
Creation and origins of country music as a whole, and I would like to genuinely apologize for the way that I phrased that. Now, I figured today could be a little history lesson for all of the non-black folks out there who did not know that country music was in fact created by black people. Country music originally was a form of storytelling. Now, a little bit of background here. Country music is fundamentally comprised of a few key components: string instruments, storytelling, and simply put, vibes. I don't know about you, but when I think of the banjo, Appalachia, bluegrass, and country music all come to mind. Much like a lot of the instruments that we hear and use today, the banjo was brought to the US by African slaves. They would fashion the banjo and a lot of other stringed instruments out of things like gourds, dry gourds, which is just absolutely fascinating to me. Anyhow, these stringed instruments would be used during the inception of what we know today as blues. And blues was the parent genre of so many styles of music that we hear on the radio today, including country, because of the heavy storytelling that was often found in blues music. Now, here's the important part. At the time of the inception of country music, black people were not allowed to be in spaces where white entertainment.
Segregation. Because of segregation. Learn to use the right word. Segregation. Because of segregation. This happened.
Took place. So it was very common for white people to put on blackface and perform this blues-esque music that was created by the African slaves. And get this, the music was so good, even when it was being used as a joke for entertainment, that it started to be taken serious.
Pay attention. Used as a joke for entertainment. They used the blackface to make a joke to entertain white people. And you know what? Which music were they playing? They were playing black people's music, using making a white man's face black in order to mock the black people who created this music to entertain white people. Oh my goodness. Racism. This is it. This is racism. If you ever ask someone what racism looks like, this is racism. Follow with me. This is racism.
In mainstream media. So literally, black people created a genre of music, white people stole that music, did it on stage in blackface for entertainment purposes, and the viewers of these racist depictions liked the music so much that it started to gain traction and became a popular music genre. And of course, the credit goes
spot on
to not black people. And over time, country music has been influenced by other POCs. Spanish music is another example of something that has influenced country music over time. But in my original video, when I said it was created by, I should have said black people. So I'm sorry. I hope this video was insightful and that it taught you something. And
I also hope you've learned your lesson. Next time you talk about country music, remember this history, the research that you have done, because these millennials and Gen Zs, they will always say they're sorry, but the next time you see them, they're still making the same mistake over and over, and they want the same results. They make the same mistakes, they want different results. So if you are in the camp where you say country music is not black people's music, it wasn't created by black people, I mean, watching these videos and getting a deep dive into the origins of country music, you're going to see that, I mean, black people literally created every other genre of music, but it was appropriated, it was stolen from them, and the only thing that they went on doing was singing rap music. They went on to rap music because every other music that they made was stolen. And you know what? These people have made millions and millions out of this music that was stolen. And now Beyonce comes on to go on to country music, and you all are getting enraged, and John Schneider and his cohorts are calling her a dog. You're referring to Beyonce as a dog trying to make its spot, like if a dog in a park urinating on every tree that they see in the park just to make their mark in that park. I mean, so you're trying to say that Beyonce is trying to make her mark on the park. As you just saw in the video, everyone is saying that Beyonce is a Texas girl. She grew up in Houston, Texas, listening to country music from as early as 5 years old. When she was a kid, she was listening to country music. And someone even mentioned that if you listen to Beyonce's music when she started, you see that she started with country music and then later on moved to the popular trending music, you know, but she will always bounce back to country music if she wants, because that's where she grew up. That's the music she grew up listening to. So what's wrong with that if Beyonce decides to go on to country music? And why is it always a divide between liberals and Democrats, Democrats and Republicans, right and left? You know, in America, everything is about politics. You know, it's all about politics, because you see that the conservatives are enraged because they feel that Beyonce is a liberal. Beyonce belongs to the Democratic Party, and she doesn't have a right to come to sing country music because she's not a conservative, you know. But guys, that's it for today. So what do you think about this? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. And I want to add here that Beyonce going on to country music and having this backlash and becoming number one, like the first female to be number one on country music charts, has brought the much needed attention around this subject matter. Because if Beyonce didn't go on to country music, we wouldn't be talking about who created country music, where it originated from, you know. But now we are having the discussion, and that's the most important part of it. We are talking about how Black people contributed, how Black people created this genre of music. So this is the most important part about this whole saga. But then it is what it is. And Beyonce is going to sing any music that she wants because she's an artist. She can jump on any music that she wants because she's talented. Beyonce sings very good. I don't know why Matt Walsh will outrightly say that Beyonce's music is not good. Like, seriously, I didn't know that that's how much he hated Beyonce. And I wouldn't be surprised if Beyonce's fans come for him and say that he's racist, because why would you say that her music is so bad, but you've never liked her? You've never liked her, you've never listened to her music. So you don't listen to someone's music, but why do you conclude that their music is bad and they are not talented? This is gross. This is gross, guys. Until next time, see you all. Bye.